Right, guys, thought I'd do a little bit of an update. Was moving to Spain the right ideas? I know I bring this up now and again. For me, it's a continuation in the sense that there is often things that reinforce it and very little that says that it was wrong. Being in the UK recently, it become very apparent from the majority of people I've met, in the sense of these are friends and people I've known for a long time, that most are not happy. Many are already planning to leave, in the sense of moving to Spain, going to the Philippines, going elsewhere. Um, but I think the Brexit stuff has sort of reinforced there is a problem. And I'm not just talking about in or out the EU, which is the bit they focus on. There seems to be this big divide between people now. And it's not just because they love to put people either remain or leave. It's not that simple. It never was in the beginning, and but the media doesn't really want to get into real facts, because it complicates things. They like to just have good and bad, and that's it. It's much easier to simplify. But the majority of the people I know are probably a third in there, or a fourth, in the sense that some of them could be a little bit towards staying in the EU, and some could be a bit towards the UK independence. But all of them seem to be fed up with all of it, in the sense of the issue seems to be around the politics, the politicians, the false media, the lying, the lack of real information, the lack of direction. Because even from a basic leadership thing, if you, this is why I find LinkedIn a bit tedious sometimes, because people talk about, I'm a leader, I went on a leadership course and stuff. You're not a leader, you're a manager. Leading is making a decision, and many people I know couldn't make a decision to save their lives, in the sense of they are always passing the buck left, right and centre. One thing they're trying to avoid is actually making any decisions at any point. You look at chief executives for hospitals, chief executives for councils, and many of these other gravy train jobs. They normally bring in consultants to make their decisions for them. So why are we employing these chief execs? Just as an example. But these are business leaders and community leaders and things like that, yet they don't make any decisions. They avoid it because it can have an impact. You know, if you're not good at your job, you can get sacked. So a lack of direction is the major problem in the UK. In or out, it doesn't matter in the long term. Short term, they just need direction. And that's the biggest problem the UK has got. It has zero direction. They'll go, right, let's get this done sort of stuff. And I'm like, okay, you're actually annoying me with saying this crap, because you're like, that is the only bit I need to hear. You haven't really thought anything beyond this. There's no depth of what that actually means. It's all like, oh yeah, well trust us to do it. And I'll be honest, it doesn't matter which politician I look at. They all simply come with a lack of ability to do it. In or out, like I said, the direction is the problem. If they remained, it's good. For me, I'd agree with Remain, and I do think they need to have what they should actually be doing is for a revision within Europe to actually have more voice within the Parliament, the European Parliament, and actually get the EU Parliament to do their job. Because a lot of time they don't. It's been enough panorama things about the expenses and wheeling in on straight off the Eurotunnel with a little suitcase, signing in and getting back on the train and going back, booking a 4 weeks pay at the same time. The rent on the apartment that they bought back to themselves. See, there's people who say, well, that's Europe, that's Europe. No, it's not. It's your MPs. And your same MPs have, guess what? The second home scandals in the UK. They're all at it. So don't think that, oh, we wash our hands of Europe, everything's going to be great. You're having a laugh. There needs to be a full overhaul. Simple as that. But I was trying to avoid getting into politics, but got dragged into it there. So for me, I'm just sidestepping it at the moment. I've got my focus on getting the first apartment in Spain, purchasing that during next year, earlier the better, and then taking it from there. The air conditioning I'm still looking at. I've got one of the guys I work with. He's gas biased in the sense of gas boilers, that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to see if we can source somebody local so I can do the F-gas, so I can do the gas changes in air conditioning. But I've contacted a few people and said, look, do you do any weekend courses and stuff? And response is pretty poor. It's a bit frustrating because if I can get somebody locked in to go away, do this, be done in no time. Because the thing is, I'm not going into a new industry. I'm involved with it. It's just I don't really get too hands-on these days. I'm more sit and do CAD drawings and things like that. I don't really get too involved with climbing up a ladder. I haven't done that for a long time, but it doesn't mean I can't do it. I mean, enough people know me. They've fixed their electrics, plumbing issues and other stuff. But this one is one I need to get done. So I'm sort of looking at the moment how to get it done. Another string to the bow. And that's one of the things I will say about moving over to Spain is the more strings you have to your bow, the more chance you are going to have to be there long term. Because short term, a lot of people arrive, not really sure what they're going to do, get in the holiday mode, and the money starts running out quite quick. You've got to focus on making that money as quick as you can and finding your niche. The Spanish, I've got to admit, I've started using Netflix a lot. Money Heist is what I'm about to watch. I've been watching a lot of things like Argentinians, not soaps. I could never watch a soap, but like there's a famous one at the moment. It's an Argentinian one, El Ministral, I think it is, or something like that. That's a very good series, Argentinian prison one. Somebody can put that in below. But that's a very good series. I enjoyed watching that. And I've got to admit that's been easier to learn Spanish that way. I use my Memrise, don't get me wrong. I've been using Duolingo a little bit. But I do find actually watching more Spanish shows is making it much easier because you get used to the pace when people talk very, very fast, which is one of the problems you get with the Spanish language, is you start speaking it and someone's like, oh, you speak Spanish, and they're speaking way faster than you can absorb it, and you're like, whoa, slow down a bit. But with the series, you're sort of picking it up because it's still fast paced, but I do find the Argentinian stuff is a bit slower than I find in the Valencian region. But we did find in Valencia they spoke fairly slow, which made it very much easier to learn. But still going. And that's one of the key things I will say is never give up. Focus on it. If you want to learn it, make sure you do. Just keep at it. Some people can learn from a book, other people need to absorb it, and I think language is much easier to absorb. A lot of the stuff I have around mathematics, because I do a lot with mathematical equations and things, came from actual practicality. I was good, don't get me wrong, I was pretty good at maths at school anyway, but I found it boring. It was like, what time would this train be at this station? This other one leaves at 3:15. When would that reach the station? Would they be there at the same time? So I was like, I don't go on a train, in the sense of, as a kid, no interest in this whatsoever, because it wasn't really anything of relevance. I think that's one of the things you've got to find is what connects you to it, what connects you to the language. Is it food? Is it drink? Is it plants? Is it watching Spanish soap operas? April likes Spanish quiz shows, so she watches her quiz shows, and that was quite useful for April. She was saying, I just can't watch that sort of stuff. I find it irritating. I can't watch them in English, never mind Spanish. So you've just got to find what works for you and run with it. Don't expect to learn it overnight. And that's one thing that does irritate me about a lot of these courses. And you can learn it in 3 months. You can get conversational in 3 months. Well, you can get conversational within weeks. Because, let's face it, if you're going to a coffee shop every morning, what are you ordering? Coffee. What are you going to say? How is your day? My good day is good. How is your day? Very simple conversations. Not going to take you long to learn that. But it's when they may say, it looks like rain tomorrow. Do you have an umbrella or something? You may go, sorry? Because they've expanded out of that little conversation piece you had. But the point is, that's also good. Because you've got the other sentences down. Having these new ones adds to it. But anyway, that's enough nattering for me. I know I natter when I'm a little bit tired. I've had a busy month this month, so I'm sort of looking at chilling out, relaxing a bit this evening. And if you do have time, there is 2 galleons in Torrevieja that you can go and walk on. You can visit those. They're replicas, don't get me wrong, but my kids were there today and thought they were great. Thanks for watching.